How's it going, everybody? I'm Josh from Elden Ring Highlander, and I'm coming to you with a deck tech video for Ghalta's Stampede, a really fun, stormy creature-based deck built around Ghalta Stampede Tyrant, a new card from the new Ixalan set that's coming out that just got spoiled. This card is sick. It's 8 mana, it's a 12/12, it's got trample. I mean, that's enough, right? That's plenty. That's all you need. But on top of that, when it enters the battlefield, you put any number of creature cards from your hand into play. Just straight onto the battlefield. No mana, no cost, no cast without paying their mana cost. Shit, so they can still get counterspelled. You just fucking get them. They're there. They're fucking on the battlefield. Get wrecked. It's fucking awesome. I'm just so hyped for this. This is just like playing Primal Surge in the command zone. So of course, I built a Primal Surge deck around it, and I fucking love it. It's so fun to play. The deck is fairly straightforward, right? It's just a bunch of mana. We make a shitload of mana, and then we have two categories of creatures. Category number 1 is creatures that when they enter the battlefield, draws a card. Category number 2 is creatures that when they enter the battlefield, bounce a creature. So the idea is, we have our Ghalta enter the battlefield, we have all our little elvish visionary dudes enter the battlefield and draw us a card, and then we have one of the invasive species type dudes enter the battlefield and return Ghalta to our hand. Then, if we can make enough mana from our creatures, perhaps by, say, using an Earthcraft or a Concordant Crossroads in combination with a Shaya to make them all tap for mana, then we can recast Ghalta, draw a bunch more cards off the creatures we just put in our hand, and then hopefully do it again. And we do it as many times as we can so we get a bunch of creatures that can either attack and go in there with the Concordant Crossroads, or we win some other way. There's a lot of ways to win in this deck. There's crazy combos, classic elf ball things, many infinite mana things. There's a Shaya and Quirion Ranger and stuff. It just goes hard as fuck and vomits itself onto the table. And then, I don't know, it's got Crater Hoof. It's got Cultivator Colossus and Abundance. It's awesome. Now, I know what you're thinking. You have all these draw card stuff. How do you stop yourself from dying? You have Abundance. I'm also considering putting Words of Wilding in as well, because that one gives you a bear instead of drawing you a card, which is cool, but I don't think it's necessarily needed. Just Abundance is fine. If someone kills your Abundance and you die, then that's hilarious and you deserve it because you're playing like this deck that takes 7-minute turns. But this deck is just sick. It's so simple and it's so easy. We're gonna just play your commander and draw a bazillion cards. You know what? We'll play test it. This hand is a hand. We'll go boom. Oh, we need to draw. Boom on turn 1. Easy. Next turn. Don't do anything. Next turn. I guess this one. We don't do. Oh my god, we're drawing just straight lands. That's hilarious. Oh, here we go. Panharmonicon. Okay. Well, there we go. I guess we can cast Ghalta. Let's do it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This hand sucks. We're just gonna ramp to Primal Surge with this hand. Yeah. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay. There's Ghalta. There's Woodland Bellower for free. Woodland Bellower gets us 2 dudes. We're going to go get Invasive Species. And Llanowar Visionary. And this guy's going to draw us 2 cards. And this guy is going to return 2 permanents to our hand. We're going to bring back Woodland Bellower and Ghalta. And we can do it again next turn. That was turn 6. That was still pretty fast. And then I think next turn we just kind of get the Primal Surge and win. Let's try another one with a hand that's not just drawing lands the entire game. That's a bad hand. All right, so let's give this hand a try. Let's start by drawing a card. Oh, Abundance. That's hot. Play a Forest. Go to turn 2. Play another Forest. Go to turn 3. Ancient Tomb. Striped Bear is one of my favorite cards. Let me draw. Ooh, that's hype. On turn 4, we can play a Forest, and then we can play, let's do 5 mana. Let's go Wall of Blossoms. Play colorless, losing a life, and then with my colorless floating, I can't do anything. Sad. Alright, so I feel like we want to just get Abundance out here. No, I think we actually want to get Soul of the Harvest out. draw some more cards. All right, here we are, turn 6. Let's go. Float a colorless. Caryatid, draw 2. Spend the colorless floating. Visionary, draw 2. Land for turn. And let's discard this. Let's discard this Timur Sabertooth. We don't need that. That's the worst return to hand card we got in our hand. All right, next turn. Boom. Play a forest. So now we're on turn 7. We've done all this. We're discarding the hand size because we're cantripping too much. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Ghalta. When Ghalta enters the battlefield, I'll draw a card from Soul to Harvest. And then Bookworm gets put into play. And then there's a trigger that I'll have to keep track of. We'll put them all over here. This guy gets put into play. 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 And this guy gets put into play. All right, so we're going to draw 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 cards from Soul to Harvest. We're going to draw an extra card from Bookworm and gain 3 life, which we'll not adjust for. Ambush Krochik's going to put Ghalta back in our hand. Ancestral Statue is going to put itself back in our hand. Woodland Bellower is going to get us a Circle of Dreams Druid, I think? Yeah, let's get that guy. And then all of our creatures will have hexproof now, which is sweet. And we're just going to pass the turn with this board of hexproof fatties. And so our next time we just either cast Primal Surge and win, or the other thing we can do is we can play Ashaya to give all of our creatures the ability to tap for mana, and then go for ramp a bunch of extra mana with Ghalta and the Great Oak Guardian. So we have Ancestral Statue and the Ambush Krochik, right? So we can go, here, I'll show you. We'll do it the non-Primal Surge way, because it's kind of sweet. So we'll draw for turn, play our land, play Ghalta. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. We'll put all of these guys into play. Ooh, not this one. Which means we're going to draw a ton more cards. And we're going to make a ton of mana. So Ashaya is going to enter, right? We're going to draw, first we're going to draw 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We just basically win. Holy shit. Then we're going to float a bunch of mana from this Circle of Dreams Druid in response to the ETB from the Hyrax Tower Scout and the Great Oak Guardian. And then also we float mana from all the rest of our creatures because of Ashaya in response to the Great Oak Guardian. Then the Ancestral Statue is going to put Ghalta back in our hand, and we're going to have a bazillion mana. And we can do it again. We can then cast Ghalta again and play all of these things that we have in our hand now. And this Magus of the Order will sacrifice itself to get another creature that we can then use to put Ghalta back in our hand and do it all over again. This is disgusting. This is so fun. You just go, you just vomit, and then eventually you have a board state full of creatures and a Craterhoof Behemoth and you win somehow. Or someone kills your abundance and you deck out and die. Either way, sounds like the best possible way to play Magic. All right, if you enjoyed this fucking nonsense of me just having every permanent in my deck on the battlefield, then you should play this deck, because lordy is it fun to Goldfish. I'm sure it's fun to play exactly once, so your play group says don't do that again. So maybe check it out. You should follow us on our Discord. You should check us out on the X website. You should check us out on Instagram. We post foil peel altars. And you should check out my podcast, Punt Pals, where I talk about losing games of Magic the Gathering. It's really, really funny. Thank you all so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.